Hello friends and colleagues, I'm Stanislav Chernog. I'm the author of the School of Vector Massage and Somatics, and today we're talking about the 5 basic movements of the foot massage. In the past, foot massage was a privilege of rich and wealthy people because an artisan or a peasant wore all sorts of scraps, bast shoes, and their legs weren't in the best condition. Now everyone can afford a foot massage. Moreover, it is very pleasant and very useful, and it is quite easy to learn. We will show 5 basic techniques that you can literally master while watching this video and please your loved ones and friends. When you do a foot massage, you must understand that first of all, you and your patient should be comfortable. You should not get hung up on any positions or forms. You should be comfortable and should allow your patient to lie down comfortably. I like the position when I sit next to the patient and the patient's leg is placed on my thigh. There are options when the patient lies on a side. Options are possible when the patient is on the back. You are guided by how comfortable you are. This is an important and significant rule that will allow you to avoid burdensome and futile efforts. The first movement that I recommend to you is this movement, stroking, kneading. I really like to work with the side surface of my palm with my wrist, because at this moment you're not only kneading your patient's foot, you're also rubbing and kneading the side surface of your wrist, so you're treating yourself as well. This is a very sensible, interesting movement. You make circular movements as if you're drawing circles on the patient's foot. The circles you get are quite large, larger than the size of the foot, and this is due to the fact that you are making rotational movements with your elbow. You're working, I draw your attention, not with your hands, not with your fingers, but first of all, with your elbow and shoulder. It is important to add that as a rule people's feet are dry, so it would be great to add oil onto the patient's foot, and so you need starting from the heel. Move towards the toes. You can shift your hip and go to the base of the fingers and maybe move a little to the fingers themselves. This is the first move. If you're doing a foot massage, then do not be afraid that you're doing one movement for a long time. You can do this movement evenly and steadily for 5 to 10 minutes, and I assure you, your patient won't get bored. If you feel that your patient's feet are getting cold, first check the pulse, and if the pulse is okay and the patient is with you, then it is worth covering the patient, because foot massage is usually very good at relaxing people, and when they relax, they begin to get chilly. Therefore, we provide them with maximum comfort through the preservation of heat. Tanya, put your hands under the covers, please. And now I have one more towel, and we cover the patient so that the one is as comfortable as possible. It is important. The next movement will be the longitudinal rubbing or longitudinal stretching movement. The fact is that the muscles that come to toes are not located in the foot, they are located in the lower leg, and here there are tendons that tend to fuse together. This is what gives the feeling of stiffness, fatigue and tension in the foot, so it is very important to release these structures and disengage them. We do this through longitudinal movements. We can move from heel to toes, we can perform movements from toes to heel, we can perform the movement with the help of our fist, we can perform the movement with the base of the palm, we can move it with our fingers. There are 2 opposing factions of blunt-pointed and sharp-pointed. Some say that in no case should you perform a movement from heel to toes, while others say that this particular direction is truly correct. We allow ourselves both those and other movements. Moreover, we focus on the sensations that the patient describes to us. Some patients like it when the movement is from heel to toes. Some patients like it when the movement is from toes to heel. So it's a stretching and smoothing movement. The next movement is when we take the base of the foot and begin to perform such sliding movements. It works great with the extensor longus muscles. The fact is that we have here special structures called retainers. Why they are needed, you can see in anatomical atlases or in our other foot videos. They are very important, and very often in these places, due to problems with the retainers, swelling and congestion, varicose veins, or an increase in the size of the veins occur. Often this is due to the retainers not working well enough. So these pulling smoothing movements will relieve the retainers, and in general it is quite pleasant. A common mistake in this movement is if you pull on the person's leg, grab the person's leg, or grip the ankle too tightly in your hands. It should be a soft embracing sliding motion. It is desirable that you lean back a little with your body so that the movement occurs due to your back and not due to your arms. You follow the ergonomics of your own movements. Again, this movement can be performed for quite a long time and combined with other movements with the previously described movements. Feel free to alternate movements with each other. The next movement will be the movement Crumpling. You should stand behind your patient's foot and toes. It is advisable that you don't have very sharp nails. If you do have, you can take a coverlet or a sheet and work through this sheet. With diving movements of your fingers, you can knead a lot of reflex points, which are definitely located on the foot. We are not going deep into where which points are located on the foot. The common place is here. The foot is the place with which you constantly step on all sorts of rubbish, on stones, on lumps of dirt, on thorns. The nature of the foot is designed to be absolutely painless for you to step on all sorts of strange objects. If at the moment of pressing with your not the most powerful finger on the place that is intended to step on and hold a lot of weight, the patient has a feeling of soreness, then the place where the feeling of soreness arises is most likely not safe. The moment you find an unfavorable place, you can and should stay in that place for a while and gently massage it. How can you massage it? You can press it several times with the same diving motion. You can fix it and knead it with small circular motions of your finger. Remember that the feet are quite often tight and quite tense, so do not try to make intensive movements with your hands. Do not apply too much force. As a rule, this will not lead to any particularly significant results. So, we make pressing movements with our fingertips and go through the entire foot. We pass through the entire foot from the base of the fingers. We pay special attention to the side surfaces. We pay special attention to the outer edge. We pay special attention to the inner edge. Particular attention, in addition to working with 4 fingers of the palm and making support on the base of the thumb, we can change the grip and work with our thumbs. And this will be the 5th movement. The 5th movement is when we work through the thumbs. Notice the movement of my elbows. There is an opportunity to work with the thumbs, and there is a movement to work with the elbows. My thumbs hardly move. They're in a kind of a static state, and I carry out the load by changing my elbows and shoulders. I think the patient will clearly answer us that when there is movement solely done with the fingers, this is one sensation, and at the moment when we have movement done with our elbows, this is a completely different feeling. Movement at the expense of the shoulders and elbows saves your strength. It does not put as much stress on your thumbs and gives your patient a deeper and more solid feel. With the same movement with our thumb and elbow, you can work on the inside of the foot very effectively. The place is the inner side surface. Here are the points reflexively associated with the spine and internal organs. This is a very important place. Here are the muscles that, being in poor condition, have a very bad effect on the bunion. Therefore, we work carefully on the inner surface of the foot. It is this area that requires special attention. All the movements that we have shown so far should be applied with particular care to the inner surface of the foot. These movements are the diving movements of the thumb, the rubbing, the rotation, and the stretching movement. When you have worked on one leg, it is a good option when you stop, do not grab the next leg and ask your patient, please tell me how much the same your feet feel. How much the foot we worked on differs from the one with which we have not worked. Now I can clearly see that the foot we worked on is warmer. What else can our patient tell us? It's got softer. It's got softer This is somehow internally perceived, despite the fact that we can perceive softness only by touch, but there is an internal feeling of softness, which I interpret as plasticity, as if something rigid ceased to be so rigid and became more plastic. There is also the holistic feeling of the food, and this is a very interesting phenomenon because one of the aspects of what we are trying to do to people, what we are striving for, is the feeling of owning our own body. A person suddenly begins to feel the whole body, and in order to be happy, one does not need to overload oneself with some other sensory sensations. There is no need to eat so much, there is no need to consume alcohol, because a person experiences lots of bodily experiences inside. One's body image changes, and this gives a person a lot of pleasure in itself. We are very interested to know if you succeeded, what difficulties or questions you have. Write them in the comments, we will definitely answer them. Today we have learned with you 5 basic movements for a perfect foot massage. If you liked this video, or if you have good results in working with your patients, press the like button and subscribe to our channel, the channel where we learn how to do massage well and get good money with it. Stanislav Chernog, the author and creator of the School of Vector Massage and Somatics, was with you. Until the next time, friends, goodbye.